Hello everyone, my name is Sam Martinez and welcome to E3 Special Part 4, I think. Am I correct? Yeah, it's Sony! First off, I want to say one thing. Hopefully you don't mind me saying it, but I do miss Jack Trenton. The new guy, he's not bad, but Jack Trenton really made these shows for me. I am watching E3 for about 5 or 6 years now. And last year was his first time he wasn't there, and I just realized I miss his presentation style. He did a lot of humor in it, and he knew how to speak to the PlayStation audience. The new guy, maybe he has to, what do you say, live into his job, but he did an alright job, but it wasn't really how I wanted it to be. I can't really explain. Sorry. Let's get the show on the road. Last Guardian. Well, yeah, Last Guardian. It's been there for the past 4 E3s, I think. 3 times we've seen it on the E3, at least. But now it had new gameplay video showing off the adventure, platforming, and puzzle parts of the game, and it also has a release 2016. Not really definite release, but it's at least a year in which it will be released. Also, a new franchise from Guerrilla Games called Horizon Zero Dawn. It's a third-person action-adventure for what I've gathered from the video. It looks awesome, and it's certainly an interesting thing to play. Um, it showed the world Earth destroyed by machines. Maybe this sounds a bit like Terminator. Some parts of the game reminded me of Terminator, but the machines that I saw in game were much like dinosaurs, mechanical dinosaurs, if I may call it like that. Also, they had some sort of T-Rex going around with rockets on his back. So that was awesome. Your female protagonist, I don't know her name or anything, but she was exploring the world. Basically, she was gonna hunt until those T-Rexes showed up and messed up the hunt. She did take down one of those T-Rexes, but I haven't seen more to really get a good idea about what the game is about. They showed a new Hitman trailer with exotic locations to kill your targets and a beta exclusive to PlayStation 4. See, it's getting lower and lower. We don't get dates or anything other than that. Same here, Street Fighter 5, new trailer to fight with, exclusive to PC and PS4. No dates, no other info. But now we get an interesting thing, which I really enjoyed watching, and I am also looking up more info about this game. It was No Man's Sky, which also has a live demo played on the stage by the developer. Basically, it's a giant sandbox game with a huge scope. The scope of the game is amazing. At one time, the developer it zoomed out of the planet he was visiting to show the entire galaxy, and I think it's really impossible to go from this part of the galaxy to the opposite part of the galaxy. It's impossible. You get space battles in a giant solar system. It doesn't have a date yet, unfortunately, but it looks interesting to play. And we got Planet E3. They explored it, shot it to pieces, and I'm gonna find it when the game comes out. Let's continue on. A new project from Media Molecule. It's called Dreams. I'm not really sure how that game is gonna play out. It looked a lot like an animated painting or a clay figure stop motion picture. It does look gorgeous, I must admit. Really like a painting, but it's limited by your own creativity. I know, even that I am a graphic designer myself, my creativity is limited. So I won't be able to get the full experience out of that game. And I think for people who are into painting, drawing, doing real creative things, they might enjoy it the most. Continuing on, we have something called Firewatch. No clue what it is, other than it was first person. They did some exploring on an island. Maybe it's an isolation sim, as the only contact you have is a walkie-talkie. And maybe some mystery solving. I don't know. They revealed new DLC for Destiny, which is called the Taken King. And for what I have gathered from the video they showed is that they have a new planet to explore and three new classes for or three new subclasses for the classes you already got. And it's coming 15 September 2015. And then they went on the exclusive tour. Assassin's Creed Syndicate, they showed off the sibling sister of the protagonist called Evie, and you don't want to mess with Evie. She has a cane sword, throwing knives, and she can beat your ass. She has some exclusive missions only found on PS4. What's the point, man? Exclusive missions. Continue on. Another exclusive for PS4 and PS Vita. It's called World of Final Fantasy. I'm gonna go ahead and announce the next one. Hopefully you have seen it already. The crowd went wild when it was announced. The Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yes, you heard it correctly. Remake. Entirely new remake. I really hope they do it like Resident Evil. Anyway, continue on. World of Final Fantasy. That was our first real notification that something Final Fantasy VII was bound to happen. At one point in that trailer we saw Cloud Strife with his sword, the whole style. So we knew something Final Fantasy VII related was coming. We didn't know that it was going to be the next thing, and it was announced. The crowd absolutely went apeshit. Final Fantasy VII Remake, no dates, more info, December 2015. PS4 is the first to get Final Fantasy VII, be there. On to the indie part of the game, and as I said in my Microsoft vlog, indies is not really something I'm really interested in. So I'm gonna name them and continue on with the next one. They are made by Revolver Digital. The indies they shown were Ronin, EITR, if I'm pronouncing it like that, Mother Russia Bleeds, and Crossing Souls. I think it's side-scrolling. I think it's platforming. I don't know. Please check out some videos if you want to, if you're into indie titles, but I don't know anything about those games. What I do know is that the next thing they announced was amazing. You think they went apeshit over Final Fantasy VII? Shenmue 3 was coming on stage. At least the creator was coming on stage with a plea to help fund his Kickstarter to get the game made. People went crazy. If I am correct, and please, if I'm not correct, correct me. It's been 12 or 14 years since Shenmue 2, and as that ended on a cliffhanger, we are still waiting till this day to see what happens in the story. Well, now I can say it's coming. How can I say that? As it's on Kickstarter. The goal of $2 million, which was the goal for this Kickstarter, was filled in 9 hours. At one time, the funds for this Kickstarter went up with $1,000 a second. So it's coming. I know. Continuing on, Batman Arkham Knight had a new cinematic trailer. I think it was something with zombies, so must be Scarecrow, right? I'm relatively holding back as DC Comics is not my place to be. Marvel Comics is my place to be. They went on to do some Project Morpheus things, announced a game called Rigs. It's a 3 versus 3 mech combat shooter, I think. Not really much. Let's see if there are anything else. No. PlayStation partnership with Activision, which also had the reveal of Black Ops 2. The single player, single player, I call it single player, but it's the campaign which has 4-player co-op. It has a reveal. The reveal they did was a high value target chase. They show some of the weapons and skills and things like that. You set the weapons and skills before each campaign mission, much like they did on Black Ops, the Vita part for Call of Duty. And they showed that this environment is finally more destructible than ever. Multiplayer revealed was fast-paced action shooters and new kill streaks they shown off. They also... wait a minute, I missed something. They also partnered with... oh wait, I have it here. Star Wars Infinity 3.0. A new adventure, of course, set during episodes 2 and 3. So basically the Clone Wars era. And when the new movie comes around, Rise of the Empire, of course, they will release. Man, I'm having trouble speaking. Release, of course, the story about Rise of the Empire. PlayStation 4 will get an exclusive starter pack featuring Boba Fett as playable character. They also showed a bit of Battlefront, a 2-player campaign mission, and of course a sort of horde mode, if I may call it like that. And the last thing they showed was Uncharted 4. No surprises there. Uncharted 4 shown a new gameplay section, mostly driving, as I must say. It was amazing. I think it's the most amazing work of Naughty Dog so far. The attention to detail is so great that you really feel that you're into the game. The only thing is it's third person, so you're really not Drake himself. It would be much accomplished with first person, but that would take too much of the game, so keep it like that. It's also really highly destructible environments. Dynamic lighting is marvelous. The environment itself is also dynamic as players or NPCs move along the road, doing what they do on their own, not just reacting to the things you do. It was a nice showing of the combat and driving sections, and of course, Naughty Dog wouldn't be Naughty Dog if they didn't do a presentation without saying a single word. Basically like Last of Us and Last of Us Remastered before the past 2 years on E3. They just played the game, one guy on stage, and as soon as the gameplay done, the guy on stage left. Which reminds me that this is the end of my video. I really hope you enjoyed watching this Sony E3 conference roundup, if I might call it like that. Please leave me a like if you did, comment on the video if you had anything to add, correct me if I'm wrong, or just want to say hello. That's always nice. And guys, I really hope to see you in my next video.